But friends, the book of John says, in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. He was with God from the beginning, and everything was created through him and by him, and without him, nothing that was created could have been created. And verse 4 says something very beautiful. It says, in him was life, and that life was the light of all men. In him was life, and that life was the light of all men. And then verse 5 says something unlikely. It says, and the light shines in the darkness, but the darkness does not recognize it. I was meditating on this word and I said, God, how many times do I focus on the darkness in my life? How many times do I stand up and talk? Or every testimony I have is the darkness in my life, is the darkness of my hard upbringing, is the darkness of my tough days in Africa, Kenya, is the dark. Lord, where do I miss the light? Where has the light become jaded to me? Where has the light become unlikely to me because of how darkness is so likely to me? And I'll invite the worship team back. And in this environment, I want to invite you guys to join me in the place that I fixed that. And this is a poetry. This is a spoken word poem that I juggled with these emotions, and God opened my heart to just see where have I become jaded to the light. And I want to invite you to join me in this spoken word poetry titled, In Him and With Him. In Him and With Him. Because God just reminded me, you know what, Henry? David says, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil. And then he says something again. He says, you prepare a table for me in the presence of my enemies. It's not about the enemies around you. It's about Him spreading out a table for you. So in Him and with Him. My reality check in life is I can fail miserably, or I can outlive my fears and failures incredibly through Him who gives me strength, who works within me both to will and to act. In fact, He's the one who gives me strength, who invites me to trust in Him with an outstretched hand. I'm not judging you, doubting Thomas, for every now and then, when you need to see to believe, you can come close, put your hands on my wounds. You can touch my pierced side. Let the flow of my pain remind you you're the reason I came to bring the real true life. So looking back in my past, I wonder if I'm defined by my failures or by how many times I've failed and got back up again. Maybe it's by how many times I rise and fall in Him and with Him.